Would you ever consider taking steroids at any point in time?
Well, that's a tough one.
So you have?
I have considered it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Considering it right now, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on steroids.
You're on steroids?
Yeah.
And so if you don't think that social media is pressuring kids, teenagers, guys in their 20s and so on, to use steroids, then I don't know what to tell you.
Would you ever consider taking steroids?
I'm on steroids.
And so imagine this. You ask a kid, hey, would you ever consider taking steroids? I am on steroids. Imagine the insult. Many people get mad when being asked if they're a fake natty, thinking that they're on steroids, but this is far worse. You're on steroids, but nobody actually thinks you are.
With social media seemingly glorifying the use of performance-enhancing drugs, it's pretty easy to get the impression that everybody in the gym is on them or wants to take them.
And so Will asked 100 gym members, are you on steroids? Would you take steroids? Would you consider them? And so he estimates 20 to 30% of people are going to say, yeah, I'd consider them. I'm going to say it's a lot more. If you go to the gym and you work out and you're on social media, you've clearly seen guys who are more jacked than you are. And I think everyone going to the gym would have heard there's something known as testosterone or tren or something that could help them to put on muscle. And because it's being glorified in the social media, just think of it. We have guys with names like the Trend Twins. We have Trend Tech t-shirts. We have guys who have incredible physiques, the Chris Bumsteads and so on. And we know that they're not natural. And so how are they not tempted? I remember when I was their age, of course I was 100% natural. Many of you don't believe it. I'm showing you photos of myself in my teens and 20s and so on, thinking there's no way that you're natural. It wasn't that I hadn't thought of it. Of course I'd thought of it. I was thinking, yeah, maybe eventually, but not right now. But back then, the pressure was far less. You didn't see it on social media. Hardly anyone I knew was taking it. And so I wasn't tempted the way that people are right now.
The first gym we're at, in all the bathrooms, they have a needle bin. And I see like 5 needles and one's still dripping test.
Well, those needle bins are in fact made for people who are diabetic. They're using those insulin needles. Many restaurants, places where people gather have these things, and it's technically for people with diabetes. And remember, people are using these in secret. It's not as if it's in the middle of the gym where you put your needle in and everyone can see you doing so. And so I don't think it's quite to the point of being socially acceptable to use steroids in public.
Have you ever considered taking steroids?
No.
No? Hard no?
Hard no.
No, never.
Never?
You may as well walk up to him and say, hey, have you ever cheated on your girlfriend? Have you ever used recreational drugs? Have you ever thought about stealing from your company boss? Of course you're saying no. Your parents might be watching this. Your girlfriend might be watching this. Your husband, wife might be watching this. And so you say no. But just because you're saying no doesn't mean in secret that you're not thinking these terrible things.
Would you ever take steroids at any point? Just honest answer.
Probably not, honestly.
When you pause to give an answer and you say probably not, and he says, have you ever thought about it? You know the answer's yes. If you don't immediately say no, it means that you're 100% against it. If you pause, you've thought about it.
You seem like you were thinking about it though.
Yeah.
So you've been tempted at one point?
I mean, a little, obviously. I mean, I want to get huge like you, but...
Remember, Will is natural, but to get as big as Will, the majority of people would have to use steroids. And so just because one guy can build an incredible physique while being natural doesn't mean that the majority can.
You're 17 and you've been thinking about it?
Well, kind of, because, like, obviously, because social media and everything, right? Like, I go on TikTok and all I see is, like, jack dudes and everything.
Yeah.
And so there it is. You're 17 years old. You have a great physique. He's only 17, clearly way bigger than average. But in comparison to the most jacked physiques in the world, there's guys who are a lot bigger. And why? Well, a lot of them are taking steroids.
SARM sales, also known as selective androgen receptor modulators, are on the rise because for some reason there's this idea it's safer than steroids.
The gateway drug, in my opinion, it's SARMs. It's legal to purchase, but you're not supposed to actually use it. But people are getting these things online. They're getting them everywhere. It's a lot easier to access. Many people feel they're a lot safer than steroids. And so that is oftentimes what teenagers use. And when you hear somebody saying, no, I don't use steroids, I'm natural, many times they're not natural. They're using SARMs.
How old are you?
19.
19. Would you ever consider taking steroids?
No.
Again, with the pause, he's like, nah. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy's on SARMs right now. I wouldn't say steroids. I'd say most likely SARMs, or he's thinking about it right now. And imagine how much that's going to change in a couple of years. You train for a couple of years. You don't notice that you're getting that jacked. You think, well, what's wrong with me? I expected to make at least 30 pounds of gains in 2 years. I'm a natural guy, but I didn't gain that muscle. And so what do I now have to do? I'm going to take steroids.
I don't know, my buddy tried to get me on it, but
And the same age?
If his buddy tried to get him on it, then he's clearly thought about it. He says, hey, do you want to try these SARMs? Do you want to try these steroids? No. That means he's thought about it. And just because he said no right now doesn't mean he'll never do it. Case in point, what do you think I would have said when I was 19, 20, 21 years of age? Hey, are you going to use steroids? No. Of course not. But think of it. I was a competitive bodybuilder in high school. When I saw the other guys at the competitions who were a lot bigger than me, I thought, well, if I just keep training natural, I'll get to that point. Remember, I'm so old that when we were in school, they told us steroids were just a shortcut, but if you kept training longer, you'll eventually get that far. They didn't tell us that steroids could build all this muscle so quickly and that you could never get that big if you were 100% natural. But what they did do to us is fear monger. They'd say, if you use steroids, you're going to get brain cancer. You're going to die of a tumor. Your eyes are going to turn yellow and it's going to kill you. That's what we thought when we were in high school. It wasn't until I went to university, started researching steroids, doing research papers on it and so on, that I discovered that, wait a minute, what they've been telling me, it's all been a lie.
we were like planning on taking it together. But
I never thought about using it. We were planning on taking it together. I'm taking it right now. Don't tell anyone. How do we know this guy isn't lying right now? How do we know he's not actually taking it?
Laprit Singh is IFBB Pro from India.
You know what that means, though?
Yeah.
That means that you're going to have to
Yeah.
inject some stuff.
No.
All competitors from India are 100% natural. I see him, he's my hero, and I'm going to stay natural just like him, and that's the body that I want to achieve. Reminds me when I'm coaching people and I'm like, what physique are you trying to achieve? What would you like to look like? And they say myself. I want to do it 100% natural, and between 6 months and a year, I want to look like you. Really? You want to look like me? I was an IFBB pro. Want to look like that in about 1 year natural. Well, what do you think happens in that 1 year when they hardly put on any muscle? I'll tell you what happens. They're going to think, I need to use steroids. They're going to think they did so bad because their expectations are so high they'll never achieve that. And so the only thing they can do is take steroids. And even with steroids, do you really think this guy is going to look like an IFBB pro? Really?
It's about 1 year since I started working out.
Okay.
Let's say 3 years from now, I'm not where I want to be or not even close to where I want to be, then I'll start looking into it. But as of right now, straight no.
Okay.
Once you stop making gains, it's going to be a lot harder for you to stay natural. When you're experiencing newbie gains the first several years of training, you're going to be a lot less likely, a lot less tempted to use steroids. But once those gains slow down, once you start comparing yourself to other people, that's when the temptation is going to be stronger than ever before.
Are you on steroids?
I am on steroids.
Okay. Are you okay with the side effects? Is it just part of what you're doing?
Well, a lot of the side effects can be mitigated if you take it properly.
And can you actually take steroids safely? The answer is no, you can't. It's like, can you drink alcohol safely? Well, even if you only drink one drink, it's still a class 1 carcinogenic. The World Health Organization recognizes it at the top of the list. It's class 1. Y'all are worried about aspartame. You're worried about drinking diet pop. That's class 3. Alcohol, far worse. And so how can you safely consume carcinogenics? Think about that. Oh, it used to be a glass of wine a day. It's good for your heart. No, it's not. That's bullshit. Trying to sell more alcohol than last time. Yet people get drunk all the time. They're drinking their wines, they're getting drunk, and then they're judging other people for what they're doing. Remember, if you're smoking cigarettes, if you're drinking alcohol, if you're not doing cardio, if you're eating shit food all the time, you have no right to complain about what other people are doing about their health.
Would you ever consider going on steroids?
I don't know. I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Well, but it depends on what it is.
No, I don't think so. Is yes, I might. It depends on what it is. Well, it might be testosterone. It might be HRT. It might be Anavar. It might be Tren. It is a steroid. And oh, by the way, I feel you should lump in SARMs with steroids. To me, it's the same thing. They're both going to put on muscle. They both can have negative side effects. The only main difference is that one is legal to purchase, but you're not supposed to use it. Let that get through your skull.
I'm trying to stay healthy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really care about the getting too big.
Yeah, I don't want to get too big. Says every person until they get big, and then they want to be bigger than last time. Rare do I meet anyone ever that's put on too much muscle. It's just, I need to lose all this useless muscle. It's slowing me down.
Yeah, just for
I know it sounds weird, but for the health aspect, just so, you know, so I can recover faster, so I have less chance of getting injured and so on.
Yeah, you know, I'm thinking about going on steroids for the health aspect. You know, it recovers you faster, prevents injuries. It does the opposite. It doesn't prevent injuries. It increases your likelihood of getting injured. Your muscles, they grow so much bigger, so much quicker. You get too strong for the joints. And so if you do take steroids, you should understand you have to leave your ego at the door. If you're trying to lift maximum weights all the time, heavy weights using improper technique, and you're ego lifting, the chances of you getting injured on steroids are much greater than ever before.
Would you ever consider taking steroids?
I'm on steroids.
You're on steroids?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, what are you on? If you're open to talking about it.
Tested primo.
And so I hear test and primo yet again. Now, here's one thing you understand. Most of the primo, perhaps 90%, is fake. Why? Because primo is very, very expensive. And so if you bought primo, the chances are that it's probably not primo. And the reason you're using primo is because it's less suppressive than testosterone. About 50% is suppressive. And so what that means is you could use primo for twice as long as testosterone and get the same amount of suppression. It allows you to bounce back, recover from it a little bit quicker. There's no water retention, and so that's why it's highly desired. Now, the problem is mostly when females want to use primo. Primo are using these because it's got less side effects, it doesn't cause a lot of bloating, water retention, and so on. But if it's fake, the chances are you're going to be getting virilization, a deeper voice, shaving, and so on. It's not safe to use. And by the way, primo also isn't safe. Obviously, it's dose dependent. If you take the doses are very, very small, you won't get as many side effects. But anyone using higher doses, trust me, it's slowly going to turn you into a man.
How long were you training naturally before that?
About a year.
A year. How old are you?
I'm 21.
1 year is ridiculous to be on steroids. How do you know what you're going to do in 5 or 10 years? You don't. And so after 1 year, you're thinking, I want the results faster. You need to wait. You should be at least 25 years of age, at least trained for 10 years. You need to be close to or approaching your natural genetic limit.
It'll shorten your life a little bit, but...
But you're okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Rather not live till 90 and be decrepit and whatever. 70 is good enough.
You say that now. Man, I don't want to live to 90, old and decrepit. I'm happy to be 70. Well, I'm telling you, my parents are in their 70s, and there's no way in hell that they would have said, hey, I wish I would have taken steroids when I was younger, because what's the point of living past the time when you're 70? And I know my grandparents, they were in their 90s, they said, you're going to want to live forever. When you're in your 90s, you're going to want to keep going. You don't feel any different in your head. I'm 48 years old. I feel like I'm in my 20s. Mentally, physically, I feel in my 20s. I don't feel any different. I don't think any different. Although I'm smarter and wiser, I don't feel old. When you're 20, you're thinking, by the time I'm 70, what's the point? Life is precious, and when you say, I'm just willing to throw off several years, because what's the point? I want to have more chiseled six-pack. It's not worth it.
I never really went for it.
But what was the reason for the temptation?
101% social media puts pressure on me and everybody.
And so if you don't think that social media is pressuring kids, teenagers, guys in their 20s and so on, to use steroids, then I don't know what to tell you.
Would you ever consider taking steroids?
Not really.
Not really?
Yeah.
Have you at one point considered it?
No.
No, I haven't considered it because I've already been on them. Have you ever considered it? Stand there jacked with more muscle than last time? Are you kidding me? You guys, do you understand that Will Tennyson is about 200 pounds of muscle? Anyone that looks bigger than Will, probably not natural.
Why do you think I took steroids?
Because you look like you're on steroids, and I feel like you're lying to me.
Oh, no, honestly.
Yeah?
You can just check it.
How is he going to check it? Is he going to call up Coach Greg and get me to do a natty or not on him? How is he checking it? You're going to check me for injection holes? What if he's on Anavar? He swallowed some Anavar. You're not going to see a hole in injection site. There's a host of different ways to do your steroids. Did he inject in his glutes? You're going to, hey, just check it. What's Will going to do? Pull his pants down, look for a needle bark? You can just check it.
Would you take Turkestrone?
Eh?
Turkestrone?
I've never.
No, okay.
I've never.
That's BS. Everyone knows this guy's on Turkestrone. If not Turk Builder, clearly Ecdilder. You kidding me? How dare you say you're not on Turk Builder? And so if you are in fact trying to stay natural and build more muscle than last time, I strongly suggest you give Turk Builder, Ecdi Builder a try. Many people are clueless to know that this is far stronger, far better than even creatine. We all know how effective creatine is, but I'm telling you, if you use Turk Builder, you're going to get far better results than creatine. Full disclosure, I went off of Turk Builder for about 5 weeks. weeks. Why? Well, because I had pneumonia. I couldn't train as hard. And so I said, I'm going to take a little break from Turk Builder. I then lost 5 pounds. After 3 weeks, I lost 5 pounds. I got back to training harder than last time and I maintained my weight for 2 weeks. I then said, I'm going back on Turk Builder. And what happened? I gained 5 pounds in a week. And you say, no, you didn't. I was 180.6, I was 191 this morning. That's 10.4 pounds, but you don't believe that. So I say 5 pounds because that's what it was. Yesterday, I was up 6 pounds. And so I've taken the median weight, you cross the highs and the lows off. That's right, I track my weight, and I'm up 5 pounds. I don't look fatter, I look bigger muscles, more fullness, more dryness in the gym, bigger veins, more vascular. I have more energy. I don't fall asleep as much. Oh, but it's a lie. He's just trying to sell to make money. I'm telling you the truth. I'm not going to lie to make money. Don't need to. Already have tons of money, could retire right now. But what I'm not going to do is lie. And so why wouldn't I tell you how amazing it is when it worked for me? Worked for other people that have taken that I know of. And so why not give Turk Builder a try? Code Greg, 15% off. Click the link in description.
Would you ever consider going on steroids?
I thought about it at one point because everyone in this gym is like crazy built.
You didn't have to ask him. He's broadcasting it in a t-shirt. Gymshark. Do you really think anyone has ever bought a Gymshark shirt and not contemplated using steroids? Not saying they've all been on them, but clearly if you have a Gymshark shirt, you've thought about it. How could you not? Think of it. You've seen somebody on social media, perhaps it's Will Tennis himself, it's somebody. You've seen him wear Gymshark, promote Gymshark, and you thought, hey, I want to buy it. And so if you've been on social media and you've seen these physiques, you've also been tempted. You've at least thought about it.
Like the twins he was just talking about.
They're the goats.
What? They're just normalizing it, they're making it okay, and it's like...
No, but at least they're open about it. A lot of people are quiet about it.
They're open about it doesn't mean it's okay.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with talking about it. I think that being honest and transparent about what you're doing is a great thing. However, if you glorify it, if you only speak about the good, you show a before and after transformation, you put on 20 pounds, you don't speak about the negative side effects, then that is going to make more people likely to want to use steroids. But if you're honest about them, for example, when Meg Israetel speaks about how it's given him anxiety, that he has different thoughts in his head, it's making him not feel well, people are much more likely to think twice.
Would you ever consider going on steroids? This is considering it.
Yeah, I guess I am.
And so clearly the answer is yes, I'm considering it. Remember, we're just trying to be honest. We're trying to tell people how tempting it is. It'd be like telling a woman who's in her 40s, have you ever considered Botox? Nope, I've never. Really? You've never contemplated that? Or a woman in her 50s getting gray hair, have you ever considered dyeing your hair? No. Really?
What percentage of people do you think actually end up hitting that natural potential?
That are watching this video?
That are watching this video?
I'd say less than 1%.
Less than 1%?
Yeah.
And so remember, if you haven't hit your genetic limit, you should keep going natural. Less than 1% likely people in the gym who have hit their natural genetic limit. I'm one of the rare ones, I would say. I've been training for 20 years. If you've been training for 10 years or less, chances of you having hit your limit, very, very slim. Single digit at best. Are you in fact training harder than last time? Are you eating properly? Are you getting enough sleep? We have Delta Sleep. There's so many things you could be taking. Are you perhaps not motivated in the gym? You could use Hardcore Stim pre-workout. And if you want better endurance, GO2 Max. The list is obvious. I don't have to mention creatine. And so really, if you are in the gym before using steroids, try to use everything natural to get to your limit first.